From the 16th century onwards, the Bay Nui region wasn't under the party's control. Instead, it was a small, agriculturally prosperous city-state, somewhat like a vassal kingdom of Chenla. Though small, the land was blessed with numerous mountains and waterways, granting it a degree of autonomy, military strength, and agricultural prowess. Essentially, it was a thriving urban center. One day, the chief magistrate of the city, while hunting at the foot of Cam Mountain, was caught in a sudden storm. Dark clouds gathered, thunder roared, and lightning flashed. His horse, spooked by the tempest, bolted and galloped deep into the mountains. Separated from his retinue, the magistrate soon found himself lost. As the rain intensified, he sought shelter, eventually stumbling upon a thatched roof house nestled beside an ancient banyan tree. Seeking refuge, he found inside only an old woman and her exceptionally beautiful daughter. The magistrate was instantly captivated by the young woman's stunning looks. He was so smitten that he resolved to marry her. He proposed and invited the old woman to live in the city with them, but she steadfastly refused, declaring her preference to remain in her humble cottage. Instead, she requested only a monthly offering of 3 strings of coins for offerings to the spirits and charitable works, which the magistrate readily granted. Every month, on the 15th, he sent the coins to the old woman. However, a few months later, the residents along the Tan Canal began to report livestock being mysteriously killed. The incidents grew increasingly frequent, causing considerable concern for the magistrate. One day, his new young wife asked for permission to visit her mother. The magistrate, though initially hesitant, eventually relented. No sooner had she departed than a messenger arrived from a village near Tra Su Mountain, reporting a similar spate of attacks on pigs and chickens. She then went to inspect the scene, and the scene was extremely bizarre. Livestock was bitten across the throat to drink their blood, and some animals were ravaged everywhere. He immediately traveled to the troubled village. There, he found a horrific scene. Livestock with their throats torn open, drained of blood, and others mutilated beyond recognition. Disturbed, he dispatched some soldiers to remain in the village to offer protection and promptly returned to the city to order an investigation. On his way back, he decided to stop by his mother-in-law's house. As he approached the familiar dwelling, he overheard strange noises emanating from within. Creeping closer, he peered through a gap in the wall and was horrified by what he saw. Inside, 2 snow-white foxes were gnawing on what appeared to be a raw, bloody cow hide. His beautiful wife was standing nearby, using her hands to collect the blood from a slaughtered pig, splattering it on themselves. Suddenly, she stood up and ripped off her human skin on her body, revealing a mass of viscous flesh with the head of a fox. It was the true form of the old woman's daughter. She then spoke to the 2 foxes, saying, "If we consume just 36 more cows, we will be able to transform completely into humans." Hearing this, the foxes erupted in peals of laughter, their chilling sounds echoing through the air. Terrified, the magistrate leaped onto his horse and raced back to the city, determined to take action. He immediately mobilized his troops and surrounded the entire foot of the mountain, hoping to capture the fox demons. The foxes, sensing the danger, fled deep into the forest. Despite days of searching, the soldiers were unable to locate the elusive creatures. Enraged, the magistrate ordered the forest to be set ablaze, incinerating the trapped demons. Before they perished, they emitted terrifying, vengeful cries. The magistrate believed he had ended the evil, but the spirits of the foxes continued to haunt the region. Plagues, droughts, and epidemics. The magistrate then desperately invited a high-ranking monk from Hue to perform a ritual to subdue and contain the spirits of the fox demons. They were sealed within iron coffins bound with sacred thread, nailed shut with consecrated pins, and buried in the center of the mountain. Surrounding the burial site were reinterred remains of other people. With this, life returned to normal. However, the magistrate himself began to descend into madness. The city-state's power rapidly declined, plagued by constant internal strife. Eventually, the population scattered, and the once prosperous urban center was reduced to ruins.